So, my kids' high school called and loved my recording. So that's great. So this is Unsolicited Tragedy. I wrote this song after an experience online with this group. It was a Facebook group. It was called Indigenous something or something. And I thought it was for Indigenous people. I have some Indigenous in me, so I wanted to jump in on this. And then I asked why they were using Indigenous, if there weren't any Indigenous people in the group, because I asked if there were, in fact, any Indigenous people in the group, and there was one other besides me, and so I was like, that's not, this group has hundreds of people in it, and that's not really living up to it, Indigenous. And I was like, you've taken our land and our homes and our dignity and our opportunities and our gold and our, natural resources and our oil and, what do you really need to have the word Indigenous here? Also, because as a woman, I've had a hell of a time getting anywhere in the music industry because I get poo-pooed, and I have people tell me, you just stand there and dance. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not Britney Spears. I'm a singer-songwriter. I write a lot. And I'm not going to stop writing because some people told me to chill out, Pocahontas, and I'm not going to stop being Indigenous, and I'm not going to chill out about people using the word Indigenous when they really don't need to, and they shouldn't be. And I hate when people use the word Indian or Injuns. I hate when they say Injuns, because we're not Injuns. We're not Indians. We're not from India. Kamala Harris, she's Indian, and they keep calling her African American. No, she's Indian. She's from India, though. She's not an Indian because none of us are Indians. We've never been Indians. None of us are from India. That was a term that was coined by Columbus because he's an idiot, because he thought he was in the West Indies, and he was not. He was here, and not in the West Indies at all. So, he wasn't where he thought he was, and so he called the people Indians, but they weren't. They were never Indians. We were never Indians. Excuse me. I get aggravated in that. So I wrote the song because the guy called me Pocahontas. I responded. I told him to F off, and I may have called him something that resembles a cracker. I'm no Elizabeth Warren. I didn't take the Pocahontas comment very well. I didn't think it was necessary, and I didn't think he should tell me to chill out because I wasn't freaking out. I just was suggesting that maybe they use a different thing, like, organic homegrown musicians, or because, I have a hard time just getting a like or a share or a view. It's hard for me. I had my kids before I really pursued the music industry, so I'm older. I'm 47. I'm not old, but I'm older, and I'm not as old as J-Lo. But I just feel like these people who attack me specifically, and women like me online all the time. I mean, and before that, like Patti Smith talks about how people told her that she should go back to get in the kitchen and go raise her kids and blah blah blah, and you know, I am so glad she didn't listen to them. And I don't want to listen to them. You know, but I think it's unsolicited tragedy. That's why I named the song that, because no one asked for these people's opinions. They're not giving you an evaluation. They're not musicians. They're not artists. They're not managers. They're not record company industry people. They're just jerks online that want to say mean things to people. And so they get on and say things that, stick with us artists. Say things like, oh, I wish I was deaf. And I traced the comment, I wish I was deaf. Somebody actually said that to me online. And they hadn't actually even listened. They hadn't watched any of my videos. So how could they wish they were deaf? I mean, you didn't listen to anything. But it hurt that I thought somebody actually thought that about my music. And artists are sensitive. We're all sensitive. You could ruin somebody with just one stupid fucking comment. Oh, I shouldn't have said the F word. Anyway, you could ruin somebody's life. Watch what you say online. It really, you could destroy someone, and then we're deprived of the art they would have created. And that's sad, it's really sad. I don't want to be deprived of good art. I mean, after the Trump administration, the only culture we got from that was Tiger King. That's all we have. And my albums. 6 albums this year. Listen to it. I just don't understand. So it all has kind of a dark, 432 megahertz kind of dark but relaxing vibe to it, where it's a little off, but it's just enough to make you feel comfortable. This is Dragonfly. I like this song. This is probably one of my favorites from this album. But it's not really dark. It just came to me when I was out in the forest and all these dragonflies were all around me. It was pretty awesome. We have this point here in Mount Shasta where I live. It's like at the end of the fall where the dragonflies just surround you. They're like everywhere. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them all over. It's really cool. And I like it. So, so I'm working with steampunk as kind of an art thing. I added the goggles to my hat, and then in the video I have my copper dragonfly on my microphone, and I've been working with clock parts and clock innards, and I just think they're really cool, and they're very steampunk. So, steampunk. I'm defining steampunk as a musical genre with this album. That's what I think, anyway. A girl can dream. So the next song I wrote when I was on the road, and it's been sitting in a folder for years and years and years, and it's not new at all. I wrote it, gosh, in like 2011, 2012 maybe, and it's called My Life as a Country Song, and it's got a little country flair. I played it with a slide, and but oh, my life was so crappy then. My husband and I weren't getting along. He was in the throes of some serious drug abuse. We were homeless on the road. Not quite homeless. We had an RV, but wasn't quite a home. And with our children in tow and all these dogs, and the dogs kept having puppies, and it was a crazy time. But my husband and I were having trouble, and we sort of separated for a bit, and we had this puppy that was like a special needs puppy. Pepper, she needed special food, and she had this digestive problem, but I was doing good at keeping her alive with love and light. But my husband and I got into a fight, and he took off with the puppy and without me. And so I didn't have access to the puppy for quite some time, and the people my husband was with fed her McDonald's and a bunch of stuff that killed her. So that was nice. So that's what this song is about. My dog dying, and my dog even died on this journey I'm on. And my guitar kept breaking strings and being stupid, and then it popped the front thing off of it. And, oh God, it was horrible. Then I had that was my second guitar, actually, the one that wasn't wanting to play along. I had just had someone that a hitchhiker, essentially, that we had in our van. For some reason, she was standing while I was driving, and she fell into my guitar and broke it in half, basically. Then someone else was supposed to fix this, but these people were all in the throes of some serious drug abuse, and they weren't capable of keeping their promises or not breaking guitars in the first place. People were giving them a ride and food, because, I fed all of my hitchhikers the whole way. Whenever we had a meal, the hitchhikers were always welcome to join our meal, and my husband would pick up hitchhikers at every turn in the road. Wherever he could, he would. So, this is I Can't Breathe. I wrote that this year during the wildfires. It was pretty scary, worse than ever, and the president wasn't sending us our federal aid that we deserve to have for our federal forests burning. But we were told that we were Democrats, so we could just burn. Up here in Northern California, I'm actually surrounded by a lot of Republicans, and, maybe he shouldn't have poo-pooed them, because perhaps they would have voted for him, but after he left us to burn, I don't think anybody wanted to vote for Trump anymore. Not in California. That was just really weird and wrong, and I felt like it was, civil war, like waging war, like, you just burn, You didn't rake your leaves, he said. I was like, what? Who rakes the leaves in the forest? You don't rake the leaves in the forest. That's silly. But I think I'm gonna let you go for now, and maybe we'll pick this back up in a little bit. I can't breathe.